What is going on, everybody? I have in front of me the Varla Eagle One electric scooter. Varla reached out to me and said, hey, if we ship you a scooter, will you unbox it and review it? Now, I've already unboxed it, obviously, but that is actually over on my other channel. So if you want to check that out, I'll make sure to have all the links in the appropriate places up here, down in the description below. And if you've come over from that video, welcome to session 73. Now let's check this thing out. This thing is an absolute beast. It's not something to be messed with. This is an adult electric scooter. It's not like those Lime or Bird scooters that you see downtown in most major cities. This thing has some get up and go. Right out of the box, this thing has two 1000 watt electric motors. Now you can run them dual or in single mode. So basically all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. And let me tell you, you can really feel that extra boost as you're heading up hills, as you're starting off the line. This thing can fly. Now, because there is so much power in the electric motors, it's important to have good brakes. They've thrown in hydraulic disc brakes, and as I've ridden this thing around, with the weight of the scooter being at 77 pounds plus my weight, and as you can see, I'm not on the lighter side, I've had no issues with braking, whether that's going downhill or slowing down at a stop sign or a red light. These brakes are right out of the gate, awesome, ready to go, and very effective. While we're talking about the base and the wheels of the scooter, let's talk about the battery. Now, the battery is in the base, and as you stand on this thing, there's no flex, nothing to worry about bending or breaking the battery. It is a 52 volt, 18 amp hour battery. Now, something to note if you're considering picking one of these up is with the 2 amp hour charger, it takes about 9 hours to charge. However, there is a second charge port, and you can pick up a second charger to cut that time in half. The chargers are only around 60 bucks, so I'm considering on picking up a new one. Now, with such a big battery means you have a big standing area, and that comes in handy as you're cruising along. You might get a little fatigued, so you might need to shift your stance a little bit. Well, with such a big base, you're able to do that. Plus, they've added this super sturdy footrest, so like I said, you can shift around, get yourself comfortable. But what contributes the most to the comfort of this ride is the dual suspension. Again, I keep saying this, out of the box, it is ready to go. I didn't have to make any adjustments standing on this thing. So as you can see, it's got a lot of give. Front suspension, rear suspension, makes it really comfortable. Now, you can get about an hour's worth of a ride out of this if you're not in eco mode. So they say that there's about a 40-mile range on this thing, and here's the scary part, it goes 40 miles an hour. Now, my top speed on this was, I think, 33. That's about as comfortable as I am right now, as I'm not a scooter rider. I'm not used to this high center of gravity. I'm used to the low center of gravity on the Super 73. And so it's gonna take me a while to get up to that 40 mile an hour speed. But to get there, like I mentioned at the top of this video, is there are dual motors. So that's obviously gonna help you off of the line. Where that really helps you though is climbing up hills. They say that this thing can go up about a 30% incline, which is amazing. But you got your dual motors, plus you have this eco mode. With this on, it kind of governs the speed at around 18 miles an hour. But as soon as you hit turbo, you actually can feel it kick into gear, and it will throw you back a little bit, and you are off to the races. Now, on the controller itself, there are a couple of modes that will also increase your speed. So mode 1 is the lowest speed. That gives you a range of about 0 to 25 miles an hour. Mode 2 gets you up to about 30 miles an hour. And then mode 3, that's gonna get you all the way up to that 40 miles an hour. Now, on the display, it calls them gears, which I think is kind of funny because electric motors don't have gears. The Varla Eagle One does have front headlights and rear tail lights. I have ridden this at night, and I will say that the front headlights aren't that great. It's great for higher visibility when riding at night for other people to see you, but it doesn't project a nice headlight beam onto the road. So something that I'm going to consider is throwing a headlight somewhere on this post. Now, this post is very stable. As you're riding, it gives you great balance, but it's not there to really put all of your weight on, because once you get going, you're going to feel more in line with the board itself. This is just to support you, but like I said, it is nice and sturdy. Speaking of sturdy, The wheels are 10-inch pneumatic wheels, so you can increase the tire pressure or decrease the tire pressure to your comfort. I haven't touched them. They feel great for me. And on all the rides that I've done so far, there's no need to mess with the tire pressure. Now, setup of this thing right out of the box is super easy. Again, I made an unboxing video on my other channel. It's my personal channel, so go check that out if you want to see everything that comes with this and what it takes to set it up. But it's pretty much ready to go out of the box, other than they ask you to charge it all the way before you ride it. I kind of fudged that a little bit because I was so eager to get on it. It came with a charge, and so I jumped on it and rode it. Now, the display itself is pretty easy to understand. Up at the top, you have your gear, which is your different modes. You have your miles per hour, plus you have your odometer and your battery reading. The throttle itself was something that I needed to get used to. Where I'm used to pulling these levers for braking, I'm not used to pulling the throttle lever to go. On my Super 73, I'm used to a thumb throttle. On any electric skateboard I've ridden, I'm used to kind of a throttle wheel. So that did take some getting used to, but after 30 miles of riding this thing, I think I'm there. It makes sense. I can have both my hands on the brakes also while compressing the throttle. And of course, if I hit the brakes, then the throttle cuts off as a safety measure. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of the Varla Eagle One. Now, I think the biggest pro is pretty obvious. It is a lot of fun. It's a completely new riding experience for me. It's been one that has been quick and fun to learn and easy to learn. Another big pro is that this scooter is ready to go. It feels nice and sturdy, it feels stable, and it doesn't feel cheap. Now at $1,600, that isn't very cheap. However, that is a lower price model of these high-end scooters. You can get into the $2,000 to $3,000 range. So for $1,600, I definitely think you are getting what you pay for in quality and comfort. Another pro of the Varla Eagle One is that it is fast. If you live in a city like mine that's kind of big, kind of spread out, you can actually get anywhere in your city pretty fast. With those speeds from anywhere from 15 to 40 miles an hour, it's really easy to get across town. There is plenty of battery to do so. I rode it about 15 miles today. I still had probably enough battery left to keep going for another 15 to 20 minutes, which was plenty for me. Now let's talk about the cons. This thing is advertised as an off-road scooter, and it can definitely go off-road. The 10-inch tires feel like they're big enough to do so, but if you notice, the rotors to the disc brakes are really close to the ground and really exposed. So if you hit a rock, it could easily dent or bend your rotors, and that means you'd have to replace them. Now, another con is the range that is advertised on the website. It says that it can go 40 miles, which is probably true if you're in eco mode, if you're a lighter rider, if you're really cautious on how you're using the throttle. You could probably stretch 40 miles out of it. Now, I know in the Pro I was saying that it was able to do everything I needed it to, and the range for the city or my neighborhood is plenty fine, but if you plan on going 40 miles on a single charge on this thing, you just have to know that the stars have got to be aligned, and chances are you're probably not going to get a full 40 miles out of it off of a fully charged battery. I can't think of any other cons other than the ones I just mentioned. However, I have only put 30 miles on this thing. It is going to make more appearances in this channel, so I hope you don't mind scooter content. So my opinion of this thing might change as I go further distances on it. As I mentioned before, I did make an unboxing of the Varla Eagle One and setup on my other channel, so be sure to check that out. And if you're interested in one of these scooters, I do have a link in the description below where you can purchase one, and it comes with 2 free gifts upon checkout. So you could pick up a scooter bag or an extra charger to make sure that you cut your charging time in half, and a few other accessories that total right around $100. My overall opinion of this thing is it is worth it. It's fun, it's fast, it's reliable, it's sturdy, and I feel a little bit guilty, but I haven't really put that many miles on my Super 73 S2. In fact, my wife and I went out for a ride last night. She rode the bike and I rode the scooter. So that's my review of the Varla Eagle One. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'm gonna have a ton more content on this channel, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to like this video while you're there. And if you have any questions about this thing, be sure to ask in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them. I've made it a goal to reply to every initial comment on this channel. So if you don't have a question about this thing, be sure to comment down below and let me know if it's something that you would be interested in getting. Anyway, thanks for watching, and you know what I like to say, have a great rest of your day.